Hey Asbury, I am excited to come to you today and just share a few announcements with you. This is something we're going to start doing probably once a month, around the beginning of the month, where I'm going to come and share some things that maybe you haven't heard yet. We haven't emailed it out yet. We haven't made social media posts about it. Kind of some insider information on what's coming and what's going on here at the church. And so if there are things you want to hear about, if there are things you want me to address, please leave us a comment below. Let us know, and we'll try to address it in an upcoming video. Obviously, one of the really exciting things that's going on here at the church right now is Better Together. We've been working hard on that for well over a year now, and we're excited to let you know that we are continuing to be ahead of schedule on the student ministry building. All of the steel is up. We did a topping out ceremony a couple of weeks ago with the staff where we signed the last piece of steel, and we wrote prayers and scriptures, even the names of some of our small groups, and just prayed over that before Flintco put up that last piece of steel, and that was a really exciting thing to be a part of. Another piece of Better Together is the remodel on the north entry. We're going to have a portico and an entrance that looks very much like what you see on our south entry, and that breaks ground this month. You've probably already heard that that north entryway has now been closed, and so if that's an entrance that you typically use to come in the church, you're going to have to go in one of our many other entrances because it will be closed probably until Thanksgiving. But we're excited to say that we expect it to be open in time for Christmas Eve services. So in addition to the new student ministry building and to the north entry, we also have the development center. We're still almost a year away from construction on that because we've got to get the students out and into the new student ministry building, which will be sometime in the first quarter of 2021. But what we are able to work on right now is we are meeting with some of our ministry partners that will be housed in the development center, and we're meeting with the architect, and we're working on some conceptual drawings so that we can move forward and be ready with construction in early 2021. A few of those ministry partners that we're working with are Building All Children, it's Good Samaritan Health Services, it's Restore Hope, it's Asbury Seminary, and there are several others that we're still in conversations with and trying to figure out if it's going to be a good fit for that development center or not. You may be wondering how we're doing financially with Better Together. Given the pandemic that we are currently in, I'm excited to let you know that money continues to come in. We have already received just a hair over $5 million of the $13.4 million that have been pledged. That really kind of puts us on track with where we thought we would be. We might be just slightly behind in giving, but really overall feel really good about where we are and are going to be able to just continue forward with all of the projects at this point. So just want to say thank you so much for your generosity. Obviously, a big question we continue to get has to do with reopening, and we're excited to tell you that worship has gone well these last few weeks. We started back live worship in the middle of June, and we've gotten a few under our belts now and feel good about the worship services on Sunday morning. We continue to have a great presence online, and that still is where we're having most of our people join us. We've been running about 25% of what we would normally have in the sanctuary for the traditional service, running about 30 to 35% of what we would typically have at the modern service. Obviously, the services look a little bit different. We're trying to make sure we are protecting our congregation, and so as you know, the service times have been different. We've done that so that we can sanitize in between services, and so we're thrilled with the job that our facilities crew is doing to prepare the building both before you come, while you're here, and after you're here. Some of the other noticeable differences in the service, for now we're not doing communion. We haven't been taking offering during the service. There aren't any bulletins. There's not a meet and greet time, but we are having conversations about how do we begin to bring some of that back and how can we do that safely. We would love to get back to all three services as well as all of our typical programming with Asbury kids and students and adult discipleship communities. We'd love to get back to that later in July, and we are working towards that, but we're going to continue to watch the trends and the data and consult with our medical panel before we make a final decision. One of the things that COVID has forced us to do is get really creative and innovative and think outside the box. How can we do ministry better? How can we continue to reach our community in the midst of this pandemic? And one of the really exciting things has been our Saturday outreach events that we have done every single Saturday since early April. And for the last few weeks and for at least the next month, we are going to continue to do food boxes on Saturday. We've had a tremendous response both from our congregation and across the entire city to these food boxes. If you're not familiar with it, it's a program through the USDA. It doesn't cost us anything. This is food that farmers would just lose, and so I don't really know how it works, but there's a subsidy involved where the farmers are getting some money, but the food is being sent to churches and nonprofits and then distributed across communities. One of the things about this program is it is not needs-based. Anybody can come and get one, and we would encourage you to come and get two so that you can have one for yourself and go and share one with a neighbor. The great thing about these Saturday outreach events is we're not just giving people free food, but we're able to have conversations with them and pray with them. So they go through the line, they get their food, and many then go to one of our prayer stations where our prayer team and our outreach team visits with them. They share prayer requests, they pray for them. And just a few weeks ago, we had 16 people pray to accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior, and we were able to connect with them and now follow up with them and try to get them plugged into the church. One of the things that I'm so proud of for our church is we've not just sat back and waited for this virus to pass. We have been out engaged with our communities. We have been doing outreach events every Saturday, and I want to just highlight a few of those for you. On April 11th, we did senior adult goodie bags, gave out over 400 bags to senior adults throughout North Tulsa. We did school supply and snack bags for Whitman and Grove Elementaries, collected over 1,000 bags for that. We did 600 gift cards and handwritten thank you notes to non-medical employees at St. Francis. We did hard-to-get food items for Bixby Outreach and Dream Center, over 3,000 pounds of food for that. We did food for 3 Hispanic churches in our community, again, about 3,000 pounds of food. We did food for Operation Hope Prison Ministry and its Hispanic host church and had over 2,000 pounds of food. We did a cheering line at St. Francis South to just encourage the employees there on their shift change. You all remember the Freedom Box collection. We collected over 500 boxes, which were over $10,000 worth of items, as well as over $3,000 to cover the postage. And then for the last few weeks, we've been doing the food distribution. In addition to all of the local outreach that we've done, we have also given out over $20,000 these past few months for COVID support, both globally and locally. Hey, I want to encourage you to share this video on your social media feeds. Might be a great evangelism opportunity for you, a chance to invite a friend to come join you in worship next week. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can shoot me an email. I'd be happy to answer any further questions, and I look forward to seeing you next time.